It's fighting game time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the King of Fighters Ultimate Match 98, Mai Shiranui from Storm Collectibles. What do I say about Mai Shiranui? If you haven't heard of this character, what have you been doing? Originally made her debut in fatalfury and has been the mother of fan service when it comes to fighting game characters. Ever since then, she's been in Dead or Alive, she's been in Street Fighter, and in the most recent fatalfury City of the Wolves, she's going to be a character in there. But what we have in front of us is the King of Fighters 98 version. A lot more of a classic design, classic look, especially in the face sculpt, but damn, the boba is still in full effect, and she does come with some nice effect parts. So, let's have a look at the figure. And don't forget, while you're here, to leave a like and subscribe on this video, and also leave a comment. Other than who's your most favorite fanservice type characters in fighting games? Size of the boba, character, she's definitely taller than I expected, and the boba as big as I wanted it. 17.5 centimeters to the top of the hat, a little scratching on the 18 centimeter mark if we're going to the top of the ponytail. For your inches, that means we are going up to 6.8 to the top of the hat and like 6.9 to the top of the ponytail. Size comparisons.
Here's Jolter, the SH Figure Arts, Son Goku, Storm Collectibles, Terry Bogard, Nakaruru from Samurai Showdown, Dimitri from Darkstalkers and Ryu from Street Fighter 2, and Darkseid.
Overall look and detail. We have the good, the bad, and the awful. Yeah, it's one of those reviews. So first and foremost, the face sculpt. I don't like it. It's pudgy, it's boring, and it looks kind of weird. I know they really try to catch the art style of the 98 game, which does look, not as anime-esque, but still, look at how beautiful this looks. And I don't think this one does it any justice. That's just me. Also, she looks like super pale in the artwork, but kind of has a little bit of a tan on the figure, so that's another thing. I don't know. I don't like the face. I don't think they're really doing a good job with the faces. Also, we do have some shading in the hair and the big ponytail as well, so that looks pretty nice. And the ponytail is just on a pack, so you can only rotate it around. There's not good for action poses. We have the knot in the back, and all this stuff is floaty. It is not attached anywhere, if I remember correctly, so you could take this off, if you want to. Then we have the massive chest, which is nicely molded. Also, there's soft plastic, so, have a little bit of fun with that. We do have some bleeding, though, in the red, which isn't too bad. Those are like the fine details that I want to show you, but take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, you're not going to notice that as much. And I do have a smudge on the back, so that's just quality control issues. Then we have the belt in the back, has a little bit of more bleeding and a little bit of red going over to the white. Do have a beautiful butt mold, though. Again, that is massive, just like the boba. The fan service on this figure definitely delivers. And then we have the balls in the back. Make of that as you will. And then we also have the gloves, which again have a little bit of bleeding. Well, actually, that they painted this small detail that wraps around the finger and holds on to the glove is pretty impressive. So, props for that. But what the hell is this? And also, it's pantsuit time. It's not really pantsuit, it's just part of her outfit. But I'm more perplexed by why you made the cut of her of the crotch piece so high. It always stands out like this weird flap over here. Why did you do that? Why did you make it like that? That was not a good idea. So, moving on to very nicely molded fine muscle. Also looks very nice. Actually, it looks very sexy, and the butt mold, as you can tell, they molded it up quite far, so it doesn't really break up as much. And then down to her ninja tabi, the line work on there. Sometimes sometimes gets a little bit thicker. Sometimes, speaking of thick, but anyway, sometimes doesn't really line up all the way, but still, not much for me to complain about. But there are other issues like that. For articulation, as previously mentioned, we do have the ponytail just on a pack, so that just rotates around, and for everybody who wants to play around, you can take the piece, the white piece out. That's just directly connected to it. Then for the head sculpt, it mostly rotates on a ball, goes back and forth. And the peg in there is so small, I'm like scared it will break off, but you do get some side-to-side rotation. And I highly recommend just taking the head off and trying to move the peg like that. It's quite a lot more nimble. And again, I'm really afraid that this peg might just break off because the connection to the head, I mean, it's good, but you don't really have as much control over it. Obviously, can also swivel on the ball. Then we have the shoulder joint, which is on a ball, so you can bring that all the way around, shift it a little bit up and down, bring it forward to the back, and also can be swiveled without an issue. With the hinge in there, can bring it up pretty much all the way, can bring it down, and we also have a bicep swivel, do have the double hinged elbow. Everything is nice and stiff on here, by the way, nothing too loose. And then we have also a ball hinge that goes up and down. When I use words like stiff and loose on this figure, I have a bad feeling about it. So we also have, I can't help it. I can't help myself. I'm just like that. So we also have the entire chest area, the entire torso area on a ball, so you can rotate that, bring it up, back and forth. I was just gonna say, and luckily it didn't snap off. But there you have the ball in there on another pack. Don't have anything on the chest area, weirdly enough, but then again, it is a big chest. And I guess with this ball, okay. Really wish the range would have been a little bit wider. It's not great. It's also like pulled back by all the plastic in there, like the belt plastic. So that's not really great for some posing. Then we have the legs. Move out to the side, move forward. Let me give a good tuck on that one. Like that, of course, a little bit in an angle and almost trips the pants apart, so maybe not stretch it too much if you're getting it into pose, otherwise you're gonna loosen up. Yeah, there we go with that word again. The lower half. Okay, that was on purpose. Then we move it to the back. Man, I'm really bad today. So we do also have a swivel, which makes a weird noise. Then we have the double hinged knees, and we do have the foot on another ball hinge. The sock part, I thought this one would swivel, but it doesn't, so can bring it up and down, also tilt it side to side, and we do also have a toe hinge which moves up and doesn't go down. This one isn't painted, but that's fine. Like this articulation. For your accessories, man, are you getting a lot of stuff. So starting off with the face sculpts, you have like one face where she has the fan in her mouth, and then you have like another yelling face. Again, like the emotions are just kind of weird. The yelling face just barely changes anything in her overall facial structure. And then you have like one winky face, which I guess is fine. Also has the teeth painted in there. And then for your hands, we have like open holding hands for both sides, obviously to hold on to the fan and whatnot. Then we have these posing hands, pretty much fully open. And then we also have these hands to hold on to all her different weaponry. Well, what's all the different weaponry? Well, her fans, there we go. And then we have also these like more sharp hands, but there's still a little opening for the fan on the thumb over there. And then we have these ones where she kind of throws the fan, also holds it. Again, every time you see like a little bit of a opening in there, you can hold on to the fan. And then we have these ones which call more like ninpo, and I guess, could you get a fan in this opening? Just for science, anyway. No, probably not so. We keep the ninpo hands clean. Then we have fans. We have an open fan, which looks absolutely delightful. This one is nice and colorful, actually. I like that, so props for that. Also, this is this real rope? Yeah, this is real rope, I think. No, it's plastic. Okay, never mind. But this is cool that you can kind of dangle it off of it. And then also you have the closed fan, which once again looks pretty nice, very simple. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, I kind of like forgot. There's like a light shading, like a little bit shading on the red, which is a little bit darkens it on some parts. It's just kind of random. I think that's why I forgot to mention it. Then we have the Kajoken. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but I don't care. That's how I remember it from the game when she throws the fan. And you basically have a fireball. Got a lot of see-through orange plastic around that. Looks pretty cool. And you do have a hole in there to attach it to a base. Well, it says like that somewhere in the instructions, but I'm kind of looking for the hole. Oh, there it is. There it is. And then we do have also the base, which you have like the holes for the base, and then you have these different small short tags to adjust the height as you wish. And then finally we have this giant freaking piece of fire, which is another one of our signature tags. I don't really know. I just call it the, well, she doesn't really tag with a butt. She kind of just like side jumps, whatever. Anyway, so you just wrap this around the figure. I don't know if it opens fully. Only thing I figured out right now is just like you can stretch it over here. But I guess I would just recommend taking her apart and then put her in there. I'm not gonna do it on the camera because it's gonna be a mess and I don't want to break anything off. But lots of accessories with this one. Oh, and by the way, yes, you do get the background stage also in the packaging, which is nice and pixelated. Looks pretty cool. I mean, I don't have room for diorama stuff, but if you're into that kind of thing, this one looks pretty good. Final thoughts! I can't help myself, but this figure is like just kind of mid. Honestly, I mean, design-wise, it's fine. I don't know, putting it into poses sometimes it looks a little bit janky also. Everything just disconnects way too easily. I really recommend holding on to, like, for example, if you move the shoulders forward, you know, push a little bit on it, so otherwise the elbows just pop out. Same with like the torso. I mean, the torso really should be moving a little bit further. Other than that, you know, the face sculpt is kind of boring. What really is impressive, I feel like, are the accessories. This is the only part, okay, and then this happens. The accessories are like the only part which I'm really happy with. I feel like you get a ton of them. Also the fans. Sticking to the hands, okay, could be a little bit better. I always prefer like just having a hand that holds on to the fan. Would have been nice, but we didn't get that, so... what's the verdict here? It's really tough to get like... I don't even know if there's other articulated Mai Shiranui figures. I know there's like a billion statues of her. That being said, if you really need a Mai, this one's just okay. It's just like it's hard for me to recommend, especially if we're falling over all the time. But it's hard for me to recommend this one because it's just like so flawed, and it could have been a lot better. It should have been a lot more polished. So as such, it's just mid. It's just like somewhere there. If you really want an articulated Mai, I think this one's okay, but really don't pay like the full price because I think these figures are like $110 or whatever on Big Bad Toy Store, for example. I bought mine at a discount because like that's what I do with Storm Collectibles. I often wait for them to drop a little bit. I would say like at $70 or $80, this one's fine. Fine. It's just fine, alright? Has cool accessories though. Anyway, that's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Mai Shiranui wants. Shiranui? That's a new name. Anyway, goodbye.